Alright, so I'm going to be showing how to open up and disassemble this Lenovo ThinkPad X1 Carbon. Let me see if there's a specific generation on here. This is a 7th generation model. Okay, so the hinge on here, as you can see, is broken. It's wobbling around. The screen turned off. Hopefully the cable just came loose, because otherwise the screen, we're going to have to see maybe to replace the LCD LVDS connector, or possibly even the whole screen. Hopefully nothing like the backlight circuit on the motherboard or anything like that is fried. But anyways, let's go ahead and undo all these screws. Okay. Alright, and the screws actually stay attached to the case, so you don't have to worry about keeping them in order or anything. There's a little hole here, which is a battery reset button. Okay, if you use like a bent out paper clip like this, you can actually use that to press and hold for about 15 seconds to basically do like a power cycle battery drain. And sometimes if the computer has issues powering up, that might actually get it going again. Alright, once we got all the screws out, you can see we can kind of wobble this. Normally I wouldn't work on it this way, I would have it facing the other way, but because the hinge is broken, then it's kind of like I have no choice. Okay, so anyways, here you can see we got the bottom cover off. Okay, we're gonna now have to disconnect the internal battery here. So the battery is connected like this. Let me see, I think this is has an interesting type of connection here that we're gonna have to remove. Sorry, I can't zoom in more because I can't really move the laptop around, but move this plastic out of the way. Okay, and I think this side you flip from back here, so I use my fingernail to lift up here. You can see we can lift it like that, then we can slide it forward or this way towards me, and then we can lift the connector out, and there we go, we disconnected the battery. Once you've done that, it's always good to press and hold the power button for about 15 seconds. So I think that's on this side here. So we're going to press and hold that for about 15 seconds to drain any residual power. This makes it a lot safer to work on, especially since we're working with the screen. You want to be extra careful with any power that's still flowing in the computer. Okay, so hold it a few more seconds, about 5 seconds or so, and then we're going to flip this over and remove the screen. Okay, thing I'm worried about is this cable is getting yanked, and this looks like it has a pretty good solid connection here, so I don't think that's going to be loose. Looks more like the cable's probably destroyed. Alright, anyways, I'm going to zoom out here so we can remove the screen first, and then I'll go over the internal components. Let's see. Oh, we're gonna have to zoom out pretty far for you guys to see, since it's hanging over the edge of the desk. Alright, so there's two cables here. There's one here. I'm assuming that this one is for like the camera and other things, and microphone maybe. So once you flip this latch up, you can go ahead and pull this back, and it comes out just like that. We're gonna do the same thing on this side. Flip that latch and then pull this back. If you're not sure how this works because it's so far zoomed out, I have other videos. The MacBooks and everything have this same type of connector, but I can't really move the camera right now because of the broken hinge. So what we're going to do now, we're going to peel out this tape, the fabric-y one. Okay, we're going to separate it from the plasticky stuff here. You want to hold the plastic part down while you peel this up. Okay, so get that, and we will peel this. Man, this tape is kind of annoying. Alright, so I'm just using my fingernail and kind of picking at it, and then we can hopefully grab that and peel it off. Yep. Okay, there we go, and peel that back. Make sure these cables are out of the way as well. Okay, and we're just going to peel this off the speaker here so that we can get this cable out. Okay, just like that. We're going to do that on both sides. If you want, you can go ahead and put the tape back over just so you don't get confused or have it stick to anything. This one's also stuck. So we are going to have to peel that up as well. So same thing, I'm just going to pick at it with my fingernail and then peel it away from the speaker. Okay. There we go, and then we can go ahead and lift this cable out. Okay, so it looks like those are the only cables in here. We can go ahead and remove the 3 screws from each hinge, and then after I get the screen out, I should be able to move the computer close enough for you guys to see. Okay, so I gotta be careful because this side is loose. Alright. Hopefully the hinges we got are matching. We had to order them from China. I couldn't find them anywhere else. All right, 3 screws on each side. Again, keep all the screws in order. I put them flat side down like this, or I guess like that. Hopefully you can see on my desk in the pattern I remove it, so that way I can know where they came from. So we got 2 sets of 3. So I put them in those lines, okay? And now that we got this out, we should be able to lift the whole screen out, hopefully. Okay, you might have to wiggle it a little bit to get the hinge out from here. And then hopefully we can lift this out. Oh, this is kind of tough. I guess hold it down. You might have to open the screen and hinge out more than 90 degrees. Yep, and then you can get it out. So this is the broken hinge piece that came out. Right, now I can move this into the center and we can zoom in so you guys can see better. And let's go ahead and take a look at the inside of the computer real quick here. Sorry about that, I'm back. I accidentally pushed a little notification that popped up and then it opened an app and closed the recording. Anyways, here you can see what the inside of this looks like. I guess my camera's not 100% centered because it's showing one side more than the other. And well, that's close enough. All right, so here you can see it's all dusty in here because the fan has that intake valve, or the air intake, sorry. And I'm gonna clean that up. I'll just use a toothbrush, brush it off, and then use a powerful air blower to blow air backwards through this vent to get all that dust out. For now, I'm just gonna leave it be. There's a M.2 SSD slot here. I'm assuming PCIe NVMe SSD. The interesting is, oh, is this another? Okay, so there's another M.2 PCIe NVMe SSD right here. So there's actually, it looks like 2. Is this an NVMe slot? Maybe not. Maybe this is for a WAN or a wide area network card or something like that. So there's a M.2 PCIe NVMe SSD slot here. 1 screw, it pops up slightly at an angle and then you can pull it out. There's no RAM, it's soldered onto the motherboard. Wireless cards also soldered to the motherboard. Not really much you can do with these. This is a speaker connector here, which plugs to this speaker, and then the wire goes along here and goes to this other speaker. Okay, it looks like there's a screw holding that down there, and then I'm assuming the other one you probably have to take the motherboard to get out. Wireless antennas are here and here. Okay, these are actually, you see that gold stuff there? That's the wireless antennas. The entire thing, this entire piece is a wireless antenna. So you don't have to worry about removing the screen or removing those to get the screen out, which is nice. Usually they mount the antennas into the screen. Okay, charge ports and stuff are all soldered to the motherboard, so if those break, you need someone that has good soldering skills. I can't solder these tiny ones. But yeah, then you got another speaker connector here. These kinds of connectors, I just use my fingernails and then you wiggle the wings like this, and then I can slowly pull them out, but I'm not going to take that out. All right, you got another connector here, which I'm assuming goes to a CMOS BIOS battery. Actually, let's go ahead and remove this battery. Battery model information is here. Let me, when I take the battery out, I'll kind of show you a close up. All right, again, keep all the screws in order because they can be different size, shape, and lengths. Let's see, so we got 2 screws at the top, then we got 1 screw towards the center here, and then we got 3 screws towards the bottom. Okay, so keep track of it. There's a lot of screws. And this one here. There we go. Now that we got all those screws out, we should be able to lift it up and out of the way. And there's the battery, looks like this. Okay, so if you need to look for a replacement, that's what it looks like. Part numbers are here, L18M4P72, and then there's another different type of part number, the ASM part number, SB10K97643, and then there's the FRU part number 02DL005. So you can search for all those part numbers to find this, or you can even search the 7th generation ThinkPad X1 carbon or whatever battery, and you should be able to find it. Just make sure it looks like this. Okay, and also make sure you plug it in the right way. You can see the metal contacts are face up. You don't want to put it upside down where these little slider pins are. Okay, you want it with these larger exposed metal pins. Okay, I'm going to set the battery aside now, and let's go ahead and take a look what else we got in here. You got the keyboard connector, keyboard backlight. Yes, that is the CMOS BIOS battery, like I mentioned. Okay, then you got this connector here. It's a pop-in connector. You can pop it out. I'm going to leave that there though. This looks like it goes to the touchpad, trackpad, as well as the fingerprint sensor reader there, right? Yep. And then you got this flip latch. So same thing, there's a flip latch there. You can pull that out. and that goes to this USB as well as the power button here. And the speakers I mentioned, there's actually a wire running along like the other one, and they both connect up here actually. Okay, CPU is soldered to the motherboard. There's 4 screws holding the heatsink down, so if you want to replace the thermal paste, looks like the fan is attached to the heatsink. Be careful not to bend this pipe. And then you got the fan connector here. There's not really much to grip there, so you'd have to kind of use either some really good needle nose pliers or grip these wires and kind of wiggle it, but be careful because you don't want to break those wires. Okay, so I'm going to clean the dust off of this and I'll be back. There's not really much else upgradable other than the SSD in here. But yeah, all right, I'm going to clean the dust out, then we'll be back to work on the screen hinge. All right, see you guys in a bit. All right, so I'm back. As you can see, the fan is much cleaner now. It doesn't have all that dust all over it, and also this bottom panel. All right, so let's go ahead and get to replacing the hinge on the other side of the screen. So we're going to set this aside. Let's grab the screen here. So this is what the screen looks like. It was peeling this out. You do want to be careful because when you peel this out, there is risk to damaging the screen. But I do have to rip this out because the screen cable is likely pulled out from the screen. So you want to be careful, slowly peeling this up. I don't think you can really use heat to do this. Maybe you can leave it in the sun outside, but you don't want to use too much heat because I'm pretty sure this piece here is plastic, and if you use too much heat, you're gonna end up just melting it. So anyways, we're gonna slowly, carefully peel this up, and hopefully, all right, I'm holding the inside part down. If you're wondering what I'm doing, I'm holding this plastic stuff down as I peel it. All right, to separate this. Okay, and hopefully it will stick back down. It looks like I don't really have access to that screen. It looks like we're gonna have to peel this piece out as well. Okay, so I guess let's go ahead and peel this entire screen bezel off. I guess we gotta be very careful and gentle. Then we're probably gonna have to use some kind of glue to stick it back on. Okay. Alright. Go and slowly peel this up. And also I'm kind of twisting it this way so that way it pushes the inner part of that plastic side down, doesn't kind of tear it out. Or at least that's the idea. Okay, there we go. We're going at the top now. We're gonna do the same thing. The one thing with this is this little switch is gonna fall out, so be very careful with that. Make sure that you can keep track of it and put it back if necessary. Oh man, this pulled up like a metal piece. So there's a metal piece in here. Okay, so you want to make sure that remains intact. Okay, and they have more of this goopy adhesive coming with it. All right, you can see that little switch actually stayed down there. We're just going to continue peeling this up. Okay, and then there's more metal clips up there. Jeez, uh-oh, I think I might have stuck the thing back down because I was kind of resting my hand on it. Okay, so we're gonna have to slowly peel this up again. Okay, here we go. So we got all this white goopy adhesive here. If you want, you can peel this out. We're likely going to have to put some new adhesive on it. I'm gonna peel out the bottom ones here at least because they got all screwed up. And this one as well. Okay, this stuff I can kind of just roll it back with my thumb and it kind of slowly just peels away. Okay, this bottom one got all lumpy here, so I'm gonna roll my thumb across it to peel it off. Oops, I rolled up a little of the bottom of this one. Hopefully I can roll it back out. There we go. Try and keep it flat. Get the excess gunk off. Okay, this stuff is kind of coming out, so we're just going to peel that out. See, it kind of went that way. I'm going to hold this down and just tear it. There we go. And then up here also is kind of peeling off. So we're gonna peel this, hold that down, tear it, hold this down, and tear that. Okay. You can see it's getting all lumpy, so we do have to kind of make sure to get that lined up and peel it off. All right, you have these little metal clips here that help hold it in place, it seems. All right, we're gonna set this bezel aside. Let's see what we got here. So there's two screws that hold these pieces in place. If I didn't already mention, I've been using a JIS1 screwdriver bit to remove all this stuff. Okay, so we got those two screws out. Can we remove this? So this comes out like that. This is the broken piece of the hinge. And here are the replacement hinges that we got. We only need one. We only need the right side hinge. We don't need the whole packet, but they didn't sell single hinges by itself. Okay, so we got these two hinges. All right, so you can see this is the one that goes here because this one goes on this side. All right, so we don't need to use that. I'm gonna clean this because there's some dust in there. All right, then we got this. We can put it back. They also put some of the scratch protective stuff on top, so you do want to peel that out, otherwise it'll look ugly. Okay. Some people like to leave that stuff on because they want to keep it looking nice, but the entire time you're using your computer with this junk on, it makes your computer look bad. So I don't really understand the idea of that, because then they don't peel that stuff off until they throw it in the garbage. So at that point, it doesn't matter if your computer looks nice. All right, anyways, there's this little foam pad here on top. I guess we're going to transfer that over if I can. Okay, so it has some double stick adhesive, and then we're just going to stick that on top of this one. Okay, I don't know what this foam pad's for, but it's there, so we're going to just keep it there. Try and line it up and get it flat. I guess it's so if the screen hits it, it's not too hard of a material. All right, we're gonna set this aside for now. We are gonna also use thread locker to keep those screws in place. I don't know if these screws are coming. Oh yeah, these are coming a little bit loose. So what I'm gonna do, oops, sorry. I'm gonna take these out and I'm gonna add the red thread locker, or Loctite, sorry. Or thread, yeah, it is thread locker, 262. And the reason I add this is usually what happens when these screws come loose, that's when this hinge kind of wobbles around a bit, and then that's what ends up breaking them. It's the sudden wobbling, or the slight wobbling, that allows it to do like a jerking motion instead of a smooth force. Okay, so it's kind of like if you're holding tight here and you move it like this, it's okay, but if you open this and you do that, then the moment it hits here, it's like a sudden snap, and that's probably why the metal snapped there on the other side. Okay, let's go ahead and try and take this out. So it looks like there's a little tab here that sticks in, so I'm gonna have to push it out that way. So I'm rotating it like this upwards, the back upwards, and then I'm gonna push this out. But there might be adhesive under. Oh, what's that? Click, snap. Oh, I just snapped it with my thumb, flicked it. Okay, it looks like we are gonna have to probably take the screen out first. I don't know if anything is holding the screen in place. It feels like not really, but it's not just falling out, so something is holding the screen in place. There's a bunch of foam pads all around, so maybe those are what's holding it. There might also be some stretch release adhesives. Okay, this did pull up. You want to be careful. This screen is very thin, so we're going to very slowly, carefully work our way around the frame and see if we can pull this screen out. Okay, all right, slowly, carefully. There we go. Okay, so this is mostly out. It's stuck on something here. I guess the cable's underneath. Let's see here. No. Okay, so the LCD LVDS connector is actually on this side, so I don't know why the screen would not be working. This cable looks nice and tight, so how would I take this out to check it? Can I move this whole piece off, or is it stuck in there? Why is this stuck so strong there? It won't come out. Okay, well, I don't want to yank that out because I don't want to risk causing more damage. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to kind of just reach back here with my finger and try and pull that up. But, I don't think it would be loose. I don't know. I don't know what's going on here. Oh, there's this adhesive is sticking to it. Is that what's preventing it from coming out? Okay, so here you can see we can pull this slightly out, and I can get back here. I have to be careful not to yank it too much. And the cabling looks fine. It doesn't look like anything's loose. I'll pull on the corner edges of the connector a little bit just to pull it in, but it looks okay, so that's weird. All right, so we're gonna flip this back over, get the screen lined up on one side. So I'm gonna line it up to one side first. There does seem to be some adhesive that's sticking it on. Maybe this screen is so thin it got damaged from the flexing. Okay, anyways, we're gonna kind of work our way over here. We got that side in. Now we're gonna kind of push it over. You don't want to push too hard because the screen is really thin. Okay, and then we're gonna try and drop it into here. It looks like it's not dropping completely in, so I need to use my thin scrapey pry tool. Where did it go? Okay, give me a second. I'm gonna go get that thin tool so I can help it drop into here, and I'll be back. All right, I'm back. Let's go ahead and see about getting this in. So there's these foam pads here, so I need to kind of, oops, is my head getting in the way? So I need to use this tool to kind of compress the foam, so when I drop it in, it goes in front of the foam pads. Are there foam pads on the top as well? Do I need to? I think those ones are okay. So the top ones are okay. I'm gonna have to hold this. Okay, so when I drop that into place, it goes in front of the foam pad, just like that. And then we'll go over here to this one. I'm kind of wedging it outside, just like that. And then we got that one in as well. Okay, so there we go. Looks like we got a package delivered. I heard a delivery truck. Okay. Then we got this piece here that's coming out, so we are gonna have to angle that and get that back in the right way. Okay. I'm not sure how the cable is supposed to be coming out of this thing. Is there a gap? Okay, I guess it goes right there. All right, then let's go ahead and get the replacement hinge. I'm gonna slide it over like this. Okay, get it lined up. There we go. We're gonna use the thread locker again. Get these two screws in. Pretty straightforward. Hopefully the screen will work. I don't know what happened to their screen. They told me it's not turning on anymore, but anyways, get this stuff in just like that. Make sure it's nice and tight so it doesn't come back out. Okay, and the other one, same thing. Alright, and then we'll get this on. I'll twist it, hold the screwdriver in place, and then move the screen to get a tighter fit. Okay, and then you can actually open the screen hinge up on this side because we do have to open it more than 90 degrees when we put that back. All right, so we got the two cables coming out here just like this. I don't think the bezel will stick on unless I put some new adhesive here, so let me do that. They use some really thin adhesive though. I don't have anything that's that thin. Like the material itself is super thin, not the width, but like the thickness. Okay, so I'm gonna use this. This is an acrylic double-sided adhesive. The stuff they use is kind of like, I don't know, it's like a stretch release adhesive, I think. Anyways, we need like 2 pieces, so I'm gonna cut it like twice the length of what I think I need. And then we're just gonna cut that in half, okay? and then we can apply this on both sides. So what you do, this goes over the screws, so just like this here and all the way over to here. Okay, and we're going to do the same thing on this side. Put it close to the edge of this so both screws stick together, and then the excess like that. Okay, there we go. Make sure the adhesive sticks down. Done with the scissors for now. We'll see, hopefully the other adhesive sticks still has some tackiness. Otherwise, we're probably gonna have to redo a lot of adhesive on this thing. Okay, we got the repaired or replaced screen hinge there. We're gonna grab this piece here, and we are gonna have to actually attach the top first. So if you want, you can peel this out, but I feel like it might be easier to get this stuff attached first. Okay, so what I'm going to do, because I don't want it to accidentally stick down there while I'm trying to get this part in, so we're going to try and get the top corner edges in first. So line up the corners here so that it's like flush, and then we just work our way over, slowly work our way over, make sure this lines up. Okay, that metal clip actually locked in, so that's good. Continue working our way over. This one's a little tricky. Okay. Okay, there we go. I think it locked in. Feels a little bit weird here, but I don't know. Yeah, it locked in. It's hard to lift it back up. Then we're going to continue working our way over the edge all the way till we get this and get this lined up. Okay, pull it flush. There we go. All right, and then we're just going to work our way down. Make sure it follows the edge and the gap stays pretty even. Okay, we're going to leave the bottom side for now. Let's go ahead and go over to this side. Do the same thing. Lift this up. Make sure it follows the edge and the gap stays relatively even as possible. Okay, so that's pretty good. Let's go ahead now and just remove the adhesive cover here. So the other red, pinkish red layer. Come on. It's difficult to separate the layers. There we go. Okay, get that out. And we're going to do the same thing on this side. Separate the layers. Okay, there we go. And now we can go ahead and just follow this and stick it down. Okay, there we go. I'm going to do that side, and then we're going to do this side. Make sure it lines up to the edges here. And then you can kind of go along down here and just stick this in. All right. And there we go. I think that's good. Does it need to kind of line up more here, or is that how it goes? Now that it's stuck, I can't really peel it back up. Oh, there we go. Okay, it does just stick down like that. Okay, so we're just gonna go like that, go along the center and stick it all back down. Okay, there we go. And again, hopefully the screen works okay, because I didn't actually see the LCD cable torn. It looked okay. So now that we've got that, we can go ahead and get this back into place. So if we're lucky, we can do it this way without hanging it off the edge of the desk. So you have the hinges up like that. We should be able to rotate this, okay, to where it goes into the hinges. Good. And then we can slowly let it kind of rotate back down. As you can see, it actually hits, so you want to be careful, because if you just let this drop, it can break the housing here. So we are going to have to manually twist the hinges closed like this. Okay. Otherwise, the easiest way is you have it hanging off the edge of the desk, but you can hold the hinges like this once you get it in place, okay? And then while you're holding it, you can twist this. Like, you have to hold it and push it with your thumbs down, and there we go. So we got the hinges, everything all lined up. Okay, so let's go ahead now and put back the hinge screws. So again, There were 3 on each side. If you want, I would recommend also putting the thread locker again on these. You don't use much, not even a drop. You just squeeze out a tiny bit and touch it to the screw. Okay, and then we'll just put the screw in there. Okay, we're going to do that for all 6. And this should prevent the screws from coming loose and breaking on themselves, okay? Just like that. All right. So we've got those 3. Now we've got to do the other 3. And no, you don't really need this stuff, but again, sometimes these screws come loose and then they cause the hinges to break again. So I'd rather do it right the first time and not have to end up repairing it a second time if it breaks again. Okay. That's why I use the thread locker. Right, second one. Or last one. I don't know why I said second one. And we'll get that screw in. We're done with the thread locker. Right, good. Screws are all nice and tight now. Okay, so now we just got to get the tape out of the way. I'm going to actually zoom in here so you can see how these connections are done. Okay, so peel this tape back out of the way. Okay, get that out of the way. Peel this out. All right, then we just guide this cable back over through those. We'll grab the latch here. I use the bottoms of the latch with my fingers or fingernails, and then I push it in on both sides just like that. Then latch that down, make sure this is in, and then we can go ahead and put this tape back over it. If you want, try and get it to overlap the old tape residue so it stays the same, you don't see extra gunk. Right, then we got this side, same thing. Peel up the tape, get that cable to go through. Okay, same thing, line this up. Make sure it goes in the slot. Again, push towards the bottom of the latches and then click that into place. There we go. And then we just tape this back down. Just like that. Nice and easy. Okay. And I think everything else should be good. Let's go ahead and zoom back out. We'll put the battery back in. Actually, I need to show you guys how to do the battery connection. So, battery here. Pretty straightforward. We're going to just drop the battery into place. I make sure the battery's going under there. Okay. We're going to put back the battery screws first. Okay, so it doesn't move around while we put the connector in. Pretty straightforward. Alright, last 2 screws. Last one. Good. Alright, let me show you how to reconnect this thing. It is a little bit tricky because of the way they do it. So like before, you can see how these L shapes are. I mean, it's hard to see in the camera, but so the little things are L shaped. So what you do is you tilt it upwards like this. This part has to go up, pull it forward, get it into the slot, push it back, or push this back this way, like towards you, and then click the front back down. Okay, just like that. And kind of roll my finger on it, and there we go. That's pretty much it. Everything is reconnected. Let's zoom back in or out, sorry. And then we're gonna put the cover back on. Because we disconnected the battery, I mean, the CMOS battery is still there, but it might ask for the charger. We'll find out. Anyways, we'll get this cover back in. So this has little feet towards the bottom. So you wanna actually get the bottom in at an angle like this. All right, so it's like up, and then lower this down. Okay, and then you can kind of click that in, but let's go ahead now, and I twist the screws backwards. You hear a click, and then go ahead and screw it down. Okay, the click means that it's in the the actual threads and it like reaches the end of that spiral. We're gonna do the same thing with this. Click and then screw that in. Okay, got 3 more over here. We're gonna do the same thing. Backwards, click and screw it in. Okay, backwards, click and then screw it in. If you don't hear the click, it might not be going into the screw hole, or maybe something was going over like some wire, so you want to make sure you don't try and screw it in if that's the case. Okay, and then we got the last one here. You hear the click and then screw that in. All right, I don't know if he left it charged or not, but let's go ahead and power it up and see what happens. This thing has 2 USB-C ports, but yeah, now the hinge is good. It's not broken. Okay, let's push the power button, and I do see the power light is coming on and the keyboard is lighting up. Oh, and his screen is broken. That's not good. So there's a crack in the screen. I probably should have taken a closer look to see what kind of screen model this is, because yeah, now I'm gonna have to take the screen out, and then the screen's most likely going to need to be replaced. But basically it has that flip latch connection, and we would disconnect that and replace it. But wait, why is the screen still black? So it's semi-booted, but it booted to a black screen. That's weird. I'm gonna hold the power button, shut it off. So I don't know why the screen is just staying black. I'm holding the power button, it's still on. Wow, it's not shutting off. There we go. Okay, let's power it on again. It's interesting because it shows the Lenovo. See, it shows the Lenovo. And I hear the Windows 11 startup chime. Hopefully after completely shutting it off like that, it'll boot up. We'll find out. But yeah, the screen is broken here. That's not good. That means the screen needs to be replaced, because that's some physical damage, you can see. Okay, is it gonna actually boot up? And now it actually boots, but we have a broken screen. Anyways, that's pretty much it. Hopefully this video helped you guys out. If it did, make sure to like, subscribe, share my channel with others so that they can learn how to upgrade and repair their devices as well. If it helped you save a bunch of money, please consider contributing a little to the channel. Every little bit helps and allows me to continue making these videos for a living. But that's it. Thanks for watching. I'll see you on the next one. All right, let's drop.